Now I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I realized that you have a whole Africa tattoo at your back. Really?
You want to see it? We'll show it to the camera. I'm not sure if you could see it very well, but
Wow.
yeah, like
Wow.
here.
Go down a little bit. Go down. Okay. Wow. Why?
Yeah.
The love for Africa is so deep. Hello guys, and welcome back again to another amazing episode, and this is the Diaspora Transition episode. Today we have here someone very special, a special guest. Maybe you didn't expect to see, but she moved to the continent of Africa, and she has been doing so much amazing things. We met her, I'm like, wait, you have to tell your story on my platform. So I'm very honored she accepted my invitation, and she's right here with me. And she goes by the name Heather. I hope I'm mentioning it right.
Yes, Heather.
Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You spoke about so many things.
Yeah.
I visited your country, China, and then
yeah,
so many
of
things.
course.
But people are watching you for the first time. I want to give you the chance to introduce yourself to those watching for the first time, and then I'll ask you the question.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it was really nice, and especially earlier when you were saying like, oh, you moved back to the continent, which like I really like get people saying that. I think that's really unusual, but it's really nice to be part of the show. My name is Heather. I'm from Beijing, and and I've been living in Africa, like Ghana, and mostly Ghana and Kenya for the last year. So yeah, in 2019, like that's when I first really wanted to like move to Africa, because of seeing like how the innovation, there's so many exciting like stories coming out of the continent, and I felt like that part of the story has not really been told to my part of the world. So yeah, I'm glad that I finally made it happen last year.
I like that. And then welcome Akwaba, that's what we say, right?
Madasi.
Yeah. How to say that?
I'm getting there. Yeah.
So, before, there's a lot of stigma around, Asians doing business in Africa. I just want to start a conversation with that so we can clear a lot of things up right quick. You have a foresight. The first country you ever visited in Africa was what? Kenya, yeah, and then followed by Ghana.
Right.
What is it that pulled you into, even gave you that interest of even touching the continent, and then why Kenya specifically, and why Ghana the next?
Right. I think for me, maybe I come from a different perspective where like Africa to me wasn't like the land of opportunities for like a lot of maybe like the Chinese or like Asian businesses. So like I was coming here more out of a curiosity of the culture and the people, and because of my experience back in China, where I had a lot of friends from all over the continent, so I was more like genuinely interested to know where they're coming from. And at the same time, because China has invested in a lot of the infrastructure projects over the years, so I was thinking like definitely there are a lot of business opportunities for me to explore as well. But I've been quite keen to figure out like what are like the ethical issues that happen a lot in the space, how can this be improved, and how can this collaboration be more like mutually beneficial. So I've been on a journey to find out as well.
That.
Yeah.
I like it. What have been your experience since you touched down? I would talk about Ghana because that's where you are right now. What has been your experience since you touched down in Ghana, and even if you had any expectations, has your expectation been met, or you are disappointed?
Right. I think because I've been here for a year and I was like in different countries, so like I think my perspective is a little bit mixed now. But I think in the beginning, like I was very excited to be here and very excited to see just how things work on the ground and how it's different from what the media has portrayed Africa to be. I mean, like after a year, and what could I say? It's definitely a mixture of experiences, but I try to look at the brighter side. Yeah.
Because you see potentials. Well, you see a lot of people when you talk about Africa, they are thinking of safaris and stuff like that. But when you hear the name Africa, since you've been on ground, what comes to mind when you hear of Africa compared to before you visited for the first time?
Oh wow! And I have to summarize it with a word.
It can be a sentence.
Right. I think how would I describe it? I think Africa, like obviously we all know like it has like a very long history of civilization. There's so much culture and heritage associated with being here, but then of course I feel like it is in the process of maybe recovering and then kind of yeah, it's like
You mean
like we
economically?
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
like or like recover like the parts of the culture that maybe
Okay,
has
okay.
been like lost along
Right,
the
right,
way.
right.
So, but then like of course there's within that there's so much potential of like leapfrogging, which is why we always refer to like the technology
Right.
innovation that happens here because you can like just jump ahead.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think it's a very interesting dynamic
Okay.
to see like how the past meets the future, and I think like anything is possible. Yeah.
You are huge on tech, right? You are huge on the evolution and stuff
Yeah,
like that. What is it that you do, and then let's take it from there. What you've been working on personally in terms
Yeah,
of businesses
personally.
and the
Yeah, so I think I've definitely like invested in a lot of time in like networking and understanding the ecosystem when I first got here, and just see like what are the gaps, which obviously like for a lot of startups here is how could they like acquire funding from overseas. And then like I'm definitely trying to see how I can like fill in the gap by communicating about the opportunities that are here, and also like connect what is available like in China or like Asia, like to like what is like exciting here. So yeah, like I hosted a entrepreneurship event in Nairobi last year to connect with a Beijing government-sponsored innovation competition. So that was like one of the examples of how I like try to bridge the gap. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So, how many years have you been spent on the continent in total? Kenya and Ghana?
1.4.
1.4? Okay.
Yeah, so it's still like beginning. Yeah.
You remember you said something that you know, it's not all sunshines and rainbow, but it's what the challenges you faced here. What would be one of the challenges that really stood out that almost kind of made you go back?
Oh wow, yeah, if I could only list that. Right, I mean like one other thing, like definitely in Ghana there is like some infrastructure like challenges with like electricity or like water. I remember last year like I spent a whole month without like hot water, so I had to like get the like bucket and like boil water, which is like to me like from like where I come from, like that has never happened. Yeah, but for me like I mean there's always like interest, like something interesting about that is like, oh okay, this is like how people used to like how this could be done in a different way. So I think we're so used to like industrialization that we forget like there are other ways of like solving a problem. So yeah.
I like that. She's very optimistic, which is a very good thing.
I try.
Right. So, you know, coming to the continent for the first time, I know friends and even families would probably try to hope you back. I've been to China, and when you tell people in China about Africa, they think you know what I'm saying, like they're going to this doomsday place, and even it's so hard to convince someone to come to the continent. You know, how did friends and family react when you told them, listen, I want to make the bold step to you know, look into Africa a little bit, go to Nairobi, and what was some of the things they said to you?
I think I definitely have like a strong will, and because I've spent time abroad by myself, so I'm more independent. And then yeah, like I definitely try not to have those opinions to stop me, because I feel like how could someone who haven't been to Africa tell me more about Africa than people who are from here. So and I feel like it's something that I have to see for myself. And yeah, it was definitely so many challenges, because last year China still had like COVID restrictions. It was so hard to come out, but I felt like if I don't do it now, like I might never do it. So I just have to push myself.
So you just bought a ticket, bought your flight, got your visa, and getting visa to Ghana, how was it like? If you don't mind.
I did have a project last year, so I was able to get a business visa. Yeah, but I don't know how easy it is to get tourist visa, and I think that part could also be like promoted more, like tourism. To like other audiences too. Yeah,
I like that. You know, when I was living in China, I had a lot of, you know, it's not really, I think people don't know what Africa is, right? So it came with a lot of questions, you know, a lot of questions. What would you say was a very important question that was answered immediately you touched down for you? Because I know you had a lot of questions, okay? I know you had a lot of questions. But what would you say really answered, like, okay, wow, now I know what Africa is when you touched down? What would be that question?
Well, I still don't think I could say that I know how Africa is.
Oh, you still don't know?
I mean, I'm still like knowing, It's a continuous process. I feel like it will take someone really a long time to really understand everything. Yeah, like I think Yeah, like of course for like places we haven't been to, we all have like a lot of perceptions in my mind, and even for me, like being here, like now, like realizing how little people know about China, even though there's been like a lot of investment here, but like we still only remember China from like the Kung Fu movies 30 years ago, which is crazy. Yeah, like I can't believe that there hasn't been any evolution in the storytelling space like for 30 years, which is crazy.
So how do you coming from China? How do you see that as? How will you solve that problem? Because when you mention China, you only think of the journey of there's something like that. There's a Chinese Korean movie like that. That's what they think about. But I think China has so much. Well, how will you solve that?
I mean, I think there's like on the one hand, it's really great that it's like really stuck with people, that even like kids know about this, but then like at the same time it could definitely be more work in the like storytelling space to change that, but then also like having friends that are like obsessed with Korean and Chinese dramas on Netflix, and then realizing that they have watched more like Chinese like dramas than me. So I think like how it could be solved is just to have more like maybe intercultural content, because I was saying like in another interview that I've never seen a movie with a lead Chinese and African actor, and like to explore more of the narratives will be really exciting.
Now I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I realized that you have a whole Africa tattoo at your back. Really?
You want to see it? We'll show it to the camera. I'm not sure if you could see it very well, but like here.
Go down a little bit. Go down. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Love for Africa is so deep.
Yeah, I feel like I need to symbolize my commitment, and I got this tattoo a couple of months ago when I was in Nairobi, because I never like really wanted to get a tattoo because I felt like I'm so spontaneous and like everything is moving all the time. I didn't feel like there was ever gonna be anything permanent for me to wanna like have a tattoo for it. But then I felt like if I do want to have a tattoo, then it has to be an Africa map, because Africa is permanent. So yeah.
Wow, you love Africa so much. even without the electricity and the water is on and off, and you have to boil it, pour it,
like those are the moments that I do have doubts. But it passed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if we recorded this part in the first one, but my question was, what was some of the stereotype people had about Africa, and even what your friends and family said when you told them, listen, I'm going to Africa, I'm taking this bold step? What were some of the things that people said to you back home?
I think I've always been oh, okay. Cool.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I think for me, because of how my journey has been, even when I was in China, like most people like recognize me as like a Chinese person that's always like part of the African community, so there wasn't like so much negative perception. It's more about like curiosity, and then it's more for me to like know like what more do I want to communicate with people, even my family. Like everybody knows that I'm like obsessed with Africa, like I just wanted to be here. But then of course they have some worries. It's you like moving across the continent, and then there are a lot of things that weren't available, like support wise. And then of course just trying to like communicate the like positive sides that I see to like a bigger audience.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a question that I always ask my guests, female guests and male guests, that I know if I don't ask you, they'll be very upset.
Oh, wow. We'll try to make everyone happy.
So it's about dating on the continent.
Oh, okay. That is a new topic that wasn't there the first time.
So definitely we have something new to talk about. Dating in Africa, relationship. You've been here 1.4 months now. Have you tried dating, and what is the feedback?
I really feel like that should be like a new episode on its own. But I think like for like our millennial, like Gen Z generation, it really doesn't matter where you are. Like dating is always going to be challenging, and then like hearing stories from like my female friends about their experiences here, and then like it's quite it's quite challenging. Because like I mean, like, I wanted to, like, we gotta keep everything in the continent, but at the same time, I understand, like, the frustrations of, like, some of my friends, like, what they are going through, like, in terms of dating within the continent. So, yeah, so, I mean, I'm gonna, like, stay positive, and yeah, I think it's always about, like, finding a person that matches you. Yeah.
Really? You've not been on dates or anything like that?
Oh, it's not like that. Like, like you accidentally go on a date, or you like get into a relationship by accident. Like, it happens.
Yeah, I have this thing that I say that Ghanaian men are the most faithful men in the whole of West
really?
Africa. Yeah. Is that true?
Well, so far I can't say that I've met an unfaithful Ghanaian, so I guess that's it testified. Yes. Before I came here, I definitely like have heard multiple times that Ghanaian men are like the top quality. We'll save that for another conversation.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much.
I have so many questions for you, but I guess we'll do a part 2 if the people want us to. So if you do have a last message, what would that message be?
What would be the message? I think I'm inviting everyone to come to Africa, and then let's just put our brains, our resources together and see how we can make everything better, and to make this beautiful continent more inviting for everyone.
Okay, now one message for business owners or people who are looking to do business in Africa, not even Asians, but also diaspora living, African Americans, Africans living in diaspora who want to come do business. You've done your due diligence, you've networked, you know what opportunities are on ground. Give one business opportunity that you know for sure has the potentials to, make some profit to people watching as a gift. It doesn't matter who they are. Whoever you're watching, give this as a message, a free gift for them.
Wow. Yeah. So you're trying to quiz me. What could be a big opportunity? I mean, one thing that I did realize is a lot of people are in the mobility space because people are moving. They're always going between their home villages to the city or going to another African country, and then we all know how difficult it is to move within Africa, so I feel like those challenges could be addressed, and that's definitely a space to look into.
I like it. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
All right, let's say bye-bye today.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.